reaching their peers for Jesus.
Great.
Brilliant. And now we welcome Archdeacon Rhiannon. Please come up, who's going to introduce the theme for the day.
Thank you so much. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here today. It's just so encouraging to look around and see so many people who are so active in their churches in so many different ways. When we started Inspiring Ipswich, which is now 5 years ago, we had much smaller conferences, and I can just see the growth in numbers, but also the growth in each and every one of us, helping our churches to flourish, helping our churches to grow deeper, to grow in numbers, to grow younger, and influence in our communities. So it is such an encouragement to be with each and every one of you today. Well, today, as at our last Deanery Conference, which I know many of you were at, as you've already realised, the theme is about growing younger. So last conference, we really focused at 0s to 11s, and this conference, we're more or less focusing on 11s to 18s. And we do so recognising that some of us in our churches have a few or several people in that category, and many of us have no one in that category. In fact, 38% of Anglican churches throughout the country have no one in that category, so you're definitely not alone. What we want to do today is to see if we can inspire one another, so that when we meet next year, all of us have just a few more young people, and some of us might have many more. If you don't already know, if you need to be convinced, it is a truly beautiful thing having young people in church. I speak as someone who, until I moved to Ipswich, has always been involved in youth groups. Young people question your assumptions, ask you difficult questions, laugh at you as well as with you. They make you cry with laughter and sometimes despair. They tell you about horrible things and delightful things. They leave ice cream stains on your sofas and pizza on your carpet. They challenge your misconceptions, but most of all, they will help you to live your life to the full, and they will lead you closer to God. Many of us were a young person in our churches once, and I've done this before, but I'd just love you to raise your hands if you can remember being in church in your teens. How many of us? Okay. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a really formational time, and so many of us came to faith in those teen years, and we just want to bring that opportunity to so many more people. Today, as we meet together, there are thousands of young people across our town who haven't a clue that we would love to welcome them. We would love to pray for them. We would love to love them. We would love to introduce them to our God. They would be so welcome in our churches, but so many people don't know them. And we want to hear their voices, and we want to hear their voices all the time and today. And so we want to invite them into safe spaces. I'll talk more about that in a second. For 10 minutes now, we are going to hear some voices of young people. We're going to hear a video. It's from young people from Essex, so not that far away. They don't pretend to represent every young person. But the things they're going to say to us, which are amazing and also quite sobering, are just the sort of things that many of the young people might say here in Ipswich. So we're going to just listen to these voices. We're just going to pause at the end just for a minute, and then I'll continue. Thank you. Wow. Young people deserve our love, our support, our prayers. They deserve a place where they can belong. where they feel safe, where they can be known. Thank you so much to Jamie for suggesting that we watch that. Karen, I think you said you found it on the Youthscape website. If you haven't discovered the Youthscape website yet, I do really encourage you to explore that. Sometimes in churches, we can let the perfect be the enemy of the good. We think that we'd love to have 10 young people, and we've only got 2. Can't do anything with 2, we think. If you have 2 young people in your church, that is 2 precious young people given to you by God. 2 people that matter, 2 people that can make a difference, 2 people that can grow in the love of God. Love them, pray for them, serve them, let them serve you. Let's be good parents to them, and grandparents and aunts and uncles and godparents. Let's be advocates for them. Let's be cheerleaders for them. Let's be school governors to help them. Let's be parish safeguarding advisors to help them. Let's do everything we can to help them. And the 1s and 2s matter. And perhaps when God can see that we're faithful with the 1s and 2s, perhaps he will give us more. Some of you will know this, because I've said it before. I grew up in a very small church in a village, 30 people. And there were hardly any other young people, but I had a ball. I had a ball because that small congregation decided to love me and invite me to things and take me to places and to pray for me and involve me in things. The question today is, who could you nudge? Who could you encourage? Who could you pray for? What are the things that you could do? Who could you disciple? Who could you mentor? Perhaps if it's not in your church, it might well be for somewhere else. I'm going to say one final thing and hand over to Rachel. We would love to develop across this deanery a culture where young people feel welcome, where young people feel loved, and where they feel safe. We want to develop a culture of safeguarding. We don't talk about it as much as we should, but we would love to have a place where everyone is talking about it. We're talking about how can we help the most vulnerable people in our communities? How can we help young people? How can we protect people? How can we look after survivors? How can we create that culture? And we would love our churches and PCCs thinking about how they can use their safeguarding dashboard well. Come and see me, come and see others if that's something that you'd really love to do. But it's something we need to talk about more. It's something that these young people deserve. I could go on forever. I'm going to stop. Rachel, you are so, so welcome here today. I met Rachel last year at a conference in Ely Diocese, and I just thought, wow, she has so many things that we could learn from. Please do talk to Rachel throughout the morning later on. Rachel, thank you so much for being with us. We are all ears. Bless you. Rachel, over to you.